Hiya! Welcome! A trainer's unboxing, finally, about time on this channel. No, I'm only joking. Of course, we're back with another music box set to look at today. This one I'm particularly excited about as it's a long deleted item from 1997, I believe, that I didn't think I'd ever get my hands on. Obviously it didn't come like this. There was a bit of outer packaging that I've already taken off before we started, just to make it easier for me as we get going. So this is a Discogs Marketplace pickup, and it is pre-owned, as you would expect, for something that is nearly 29 years old. I've had this on my Discogs want list for, I don't know, 2 years, maybe a bit more. Didn't think I'd find it because it was a fan club only release, and I just thought these are so limited. In fact, the notes in the Discogs database entry said unknown quantity. So that kind of indicates to me that there wasn't many. I mean, how many people would have been in this particular group's fan club back in '97? There would have been a fair few, but I wasn't one of them. And I certainly wasn't a regular vinyl collector back then either. However, let's get this open and I'll show you what it is, although you can see it on the thumbnail, or a small rendering of it anyway. The price of this, there is, I think, 6 discs in this, and it was £120 or £119.99, and then about £3 something in postage. I think we've got a box inside a box here. Yes, we have. Another trainer box. We go from Skechers to Adidas, or Adidas, as our American friends call them. Bloody Americans, eh? Hello to all my Yankee viewers. Anyway, yeah, good packaging this. The seller of this was very communicative, saying, oh, you know, this is actually a duplicate he's got, and he thinks this is a really good set. That's the size of it, so you know now at least that it's a 7-inch set. Just checking there's nothing else in there. I don't see why there would be. Now it's all packing that. I'm sure he used the only boxes that he was able to get, but yeah, really, that could have fit in a largish jiffy envelope, really, and then maybe put a bit of cardboard or something in it just to secure it. But not to worry. Ah, that's nice. That's very nice. So what we have here is a 7-inch singles box set from Kula Shaker. A fan club only release from 1997. And what's interesting about this set, apart from the fact it's very rare, a lot of the singles, I don't know exactly how many, but probably most of them in here, never actually got a 7-inch vinyl issue back during Kula Shaker's heyday in 95, 96. So this will feature all their singles from their first album, K, and also another one, which I'm sure we'll get to. Whether these will be in the correct order or not, I don't know. So let's have a little look at the box itself before we get into it. Some really nice, obviously, Hindu-inspired Indian-style artwork here, as you would certainly expect from any Kula Shaker release. There is some writing on the side there, but it's so small, there's no chance of me being able to read that without putting my glasses on. It's just a copyright notice, really. Copyright 1997, Sony Music Entertainment UK Limited, and it's got the Columbia Record Company logo as well. You might have to zoom in on that, and even then I don't know how well it'll show up. So let's just get in and show you all the singles. So just slips out here into an inner case, or inner slip, with similar artwork. There we can see at least a couple of members of the group there, a couple more on that side. I'm trying to determine, I think these will be in the right order, just looking at the first and the last one, but we'll see as we go through. So single number 1 was the debut single Tatva Lucky 13 mix. Now I think this came out before the album K. Interestingly, this has got a HMV 299 sticker on it, so I'm wondering if this was actually substituted by the previous owner. And it doesn't matter. I mean, it's the right single, so it just seems weird. I mean, obviously this whole set would never have been available for $2.99. It was available via mail order if you were a Kula Shaker fan club member. That suggests to me that there might have been at least one substitution in here, but they won't all be substituted because, like I say, some of these definitely never came out on 7-inch in the first place. I think it's all black vinyl. Yeah, you can tell it's quite thin vinyl. It's certainly not 180 gram. The B-side on this, by the way, and I bet I need to put my glasses back on eventually for this. Side A's Tatva Lucky 13 mix. Side 2 Hollow Man Part 2, which I think at least Part 1 of Hollow Man was on K, maybe both parts. But, there we go, that is Tatva. Next in the box, oh, it's another Tatva. Now this was the reissue Tatva, so I think these are out of order somewhat because there was at least one single that should have come in between both releases of Tatva. Now then, that's more what I'd expect to see in a exclusive limited box set like this. It's like a little price sticker really, but it says property of Sony Music promotional copy, not for sale. And the tracks on this disc are Tatva on St. George's Day, and on side B, Dance in Your Shadow. The centre label seems to be very similar to the previous disc, probably deliberately so, because they're both versions of Tatva after all. Tatva's a great song. I've not talked much about Kula Shaker in this video. I've just been kind of saying here's a box set, I'm going to unbox it. I did review K for Britpop month on Mini Disc Monday back in December, so please check that out. And I have got one more album of theirs on MD that will get reviewed eventually for the series. Right then, next one in the box, and yes, I'm pretty certain these are out of order, but it doesn't matter, is Hey Dude. Flame-haired woman on the front there. It's got that Sony Music promotional sticker there, which I'm now expecting on most of these discs. Oh, now this one has a little postcard in it. Just a little look at the centre label, and then I'll put my bins on and read you a bit of what it says on this. Why it was shoved in that particular single sleeve, I don't know. Kula Shaker 7-inch box offer. If you wish to purchase an attractive Kula Shaker box in which to house your collection of 7-inch singles, please send £3 plus 45 pence postage and packaging to the following address, blah blah blah. Please allow 28 days for delivery. Alright, so I get the feeling the 7-inch singles, or some of them, were available either in store or via mail order only, and then it was the actual literal box itself, the empty box, that was the fan club exclusive. But I'm sure, as I say, some of these only came out on like CD, single, things like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm kind of surmising from my limited research on Discogs anyway. I'll leave that out because I'd rather that go in the actual box itself rather than a single sleeve. Next one out of the box is my favourite from the K album, certainly, Govinda. Love this tune, it's wonderful. We've got that promotional sticker on the back again. 3-track 7-inch again, side A Govinda, side B1 Gokula, and B2 Temple of Everlasting Light. Oh, that's why we're getting, these might have been in all of them actually. It's just going to be the same again, just saying get the box to keep them all nice, which someone obviously did, hence why I'm able to sit here almost 3 decades later to show it. Flip that one back. Oh, have we got one more, or is it 2 more? I think it's 2. And we've got Hush, which was a standalone single. It's a cover of the Deep Purple song. There again, this one obviously did have a general 7-inch release, as it's another HMV one. So yeah, it seems what the original owner had here was some Kula Shaker singles, at least a couple that were available from HMV, and then the rest he ordered via mail order, and then or she, could have been a lady. The guy I dealt with on Discogs was definitely a man though, and that person ordered the empty box to put them all in. Side A, Hush. Side B, Rangi 1, brackets, waiting for tomorrow. Although weirdly, this one's got another of these buy empty box postcardy bits in. The sleeves are quite thin, but standard, certainly for the 80s and prior. There wasn't that many people buying 7-inch singles in the 90s, certainly. I remember going into shops like Virgin Megastore, HMV, Our Price, and my local independent record shops, and you would see a limited amount of vinyl 7-inch albums, you know, LPs. But it was CDs and cassettes that was dominating the market, obviously. And the final single, although I believe this should really be the second in the box, is Grateful When You're Dead, Jerry Was There. Once again from Kay. This one is obviously one that was mail ordered and classed as promotional only by Sony Music. Side A, Grateful When You're Dead, Jerry Was There, and Side B, Another Life. These must have come in all of them, I just didn't notice in the first couple of singles. Not particularly interesting centre label there. All black vinyl, of course. So there we go. That is the Kula Shaker 7-inch singles set. 6 7-inch singles. Looks like 5 of these were certainly, I nearly wanted to say online exclusives, but how many people were actually on the internet in 1997? Some people would have been, but I certainly wasn't, not until about 3 years later. I became a regular surfer of the World Wide Web. Just figure out how to put these back in this box, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So there we go, £120 for the Kula Shaker 7-inch single set. It is expensive because, you know, divide that by 6 singles and an admittedly nice quality box, but one that's perhaps starting to show its age just very slightly. It's a lot of money, but I added this to my want list on Discogs a long time ago, never expecting that it would ever show up, or if it did show up, it would just be absolutely stupid money. But then I saw that someone was selling it for just under 120, and I thought, yeah, it's still a lot, but that's just about within tolerances, really. I'm a Kula Shaker fan and collector. I've got most of their albums. There's a couple that either didn't come out on LP or the original LP pressings are way too expensive, that I suspect probably will get a reissue by the group or their label sooner or later. I thought this was a nice thing to have. Also, Kula Shaker's brand new album, Worm Slayer, is out. I think it'll be out by the time you're watching this video, certainly. And I, of course, have ordered my copy and will show you that in the next Records Roundup. But one last look at this lovely fan club edition 7-inch single set from the lads at Kula Shaker. So thank you for watching this today. Hope you enjoyed this somewhat different and slightly more unusual and older vinyl box set. Most of the sets I tend to buy are fairly new releases, really. I want to say special thanks to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, and of course, going to get cracking into listening to these 6 singles here. Familiar with all the tracks. I think most of the B-sides will be a new experience, but these seems to be maybe alternate versions of some of the K album tracks in amongst there as well. But either way, going to enjoy all this good stuff from Kula Shaker, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next vinyl box set unboxing and record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!